Efforts are being made to ensure that all sectors of business comply with anti-money laundering laws. Acting Leader of Government Business, Senator Kay McConney, made the disclosure as she led off debate on the Money Laundering and Financing of Terrorism Prevention and Control Amendment No. 2 bill. She says while agencies like the Financial Services Commission and the Central Bank monitor insurance companies and banks, other businesses are left unguarded.
There is a gap, sir, in the supervisory regulation as it relates to non-financial businesses and professions like lawyers and others who would be accountants who may be moving money for their clients across borders as well as within. And so this bill intends to bring all sectors into compliance.
Government will not be ending its partnership with private waste haulers now that it has received a fleet of new trucks. According to Chairman of the Sanitation Service Authority, Senator Rudy Grant, they will now be used to collect a specific type of waste. He says a 2015 study reveals that 25 to 41% of municipal solid waste collected is made up of organics and in particular yard waste such as cut grass. Now, given that the SSA is sometimes unable to collect this immediately, he says the entity is exploring the possibility of using 4 private waste haulers for that purpose.
I would have reported to this House before that with the full complement of garbage trucks, the SSA would no longer need to engage the private waste haulers. But we would have been having some discussions, and we are exploring the possibility of utilizing the private waste haulers to assist us in the collection of the yard waste.
Senator Grant was speaking during the debate on the Returnable Containers Amendment Bill 2019, which he believes will help extend the life of the landfill by expanding the types of containers which can be returned for money. However, he says consideration is also being given to rolling out a comprehensive recycling program.
The Sanitation Service Authority has been in discussion with the Ministry of Environment and National Beautification. There is a comprehensive proposal that will be put to the Cabinet dealing with recycling, dealing with the different types of bins that will be utilized. So I want to give you the assurance that we are indeed looking at those matters to ensure that we are able to put those kinds of policies and procedures in place.
At least one local charity is reaching out and assisting more at-risk secondary school students. Deputy Director of Supreme Counseling for Personal Development, Dacia Chase, says its Project Rescue initiative has grown significantly since it was introduced 10 years ago. Through that program, participants learn anger management, conflict building, and other life skills. She was speaking at that charity's annual dinner and awards ceremony.
As our children grow individually, so has our program. Supreme Counseling for Personal Development's Project Rescue program 10 years ago started out with 40 children, just like some of you here tonight. 10 years later, we now have an enrollment of 1,570 amazing youth under our care.
16-year-old American motivational speaker Naeem Hudson delivered the keynote address, and he urged parents and students to make an attempt to overcome any personal difficult situations instead of becoming comfortable in them.
It always gets better, but it only gets better if you want it to get better. If you're in the same position and all you're doing is complaining about how much you're in that position, then you won't go anywhere. Instead of to get to a destination, you have to travel there. You have to go there. You can't sit in the car and be like, man, I wish I could go to this place, or I wish I could do that. You have to make a movement. You have to make a move. You have to go. That's the only way success is guaranteed.
Well, still to come, another oil find in Guyana. But before we get to that, here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Did you know? According to research, men are increasingly more likely than females to be perpetrators in a homicide. This tip is brought to you in association with the Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit, keeping an eye on crime.